Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
To set up the game, you're going to take these cards and you're going to shuffle them up. Think about them as random events that will happen. Everybody will get their cards in their hand and you'll be ready to go. What's going to happen is over here at the start, you're going to figure out what race you want to do, and you're going to have a starting location and you'll have an ending location, which let's just say we're racing to here, and there's different aspects of the game that might go on. What you do is you're going to start you see these little dots that you'll see here. That is underneath all these racers, and you'll just take turns putting them out. You just can't be in the same row. You have to be in different rows, so you kind of shake things up. On your turn, you have a couple options. You can roll both dice and move that many locations. So whoever's in the front, always on the outside is first, and you can move diagonally if you want. 1, 2, 3. So you can move that. If you didn't want to move those 3 before you roll the dice, the other option is you could play cards from your hand. So these are the cards you're going to have. Some of the cards will have numbers on it. It will correspond to numbers on the bikers. So I could not play the 24 card on the 22, but you will have some jokers or wilds that can be used with any number. So let me give you an example of that. I'm moving number 22. Let's say he's first. I can play one of these cards. This will automatically give me a 6, and then I can just roll one other dice. So now he is moving 11. If I didn't want to do that, I could play 2 cards, either 2 wilds or another card that corresponds to the number that I'm trying to move. And I could automatically move those, and I wouldn't roll any dice. So let me go over that and recap that. I can roll both dice and move. I could play 1 card and roll 1 dice and move, or I could play 2 cards and roll no dice and move that number. For the most part, when you play these cards, you're not going to get them back. Once they're played, they're out of the game, although there are some of these chance cards that will give those back into your hand. Well, how do you get those chance cards? Anytime you roll a 7 on the dice or a card plus the number equals 7, so if I used a 5 card and rolled a 2 at 7, I would draw one of these event cards and do what it says. This one says, for this race you have trained like no other and it pays off. The rider receives a new energy card. That means you get one of these cards back into your hand. This one says, your new crash helmet is light and secure. It seems to give you rider strength. Receive a new energy card. This one says, you can make time and no one can match your pedal. The rider moves 2 additional spaces forward. No other riders may follow. Your legs feel as soft as putty today. You may move slower and slower. You must discard one of your energy cards. So just random events that will happen. Now, the trick to the game is you don't necessarily want to be the first one just to get to the end, although that is worth a lot of points. What you're trying to do is get your entire team. So you're going to get points based on when your people cross the race in the finish line. So if you look here on the score sheet, whoever finishes first is going to get 50 points, seconds get 40, three is going to get 35, four is going to get 32, all the way down to the last person will only get 8. That's for each rider. So you could win the race, but your 4 guys don't follow and finish with enough points to actually win. And there is a version in professional rules where you get points for each race and you kind of keep that going on. So what's going to happen is if you play a card, so I told you about movement, let's talk about some of the exceptions to the rules. If you play at least 1 card, you can do a breakaway. And that means you're going to move, let's say I moved 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that means nobody can draft behind me. I did a breakaway, nobody's coming with me, but it does require at least 1 card to be played. If I don't do a breakaway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that means the person behind me could also move 8 as long as there is space behind them. So they can move in behind me. Now, this next person can say, well, I think I can do better in 8. I'm not going to move. And then that means that the person behind him would also not be able to draft. Or there could be a situation where they would all draft. But if you choose to draft, that is going to be that rider's turn for the round. For most of the game, you want to be in a pack with people so you can draft if they get a really good turn. Now, if somebody got a turn like 3, let's say this guy got a 1, 2, 3, and they're like, well, I can do a lot better than that. Maybe they don't want to do that. And then this guy right here will then move his 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That would be better than having drafted and went there. Now, as you can see, there's some spots on the board with numbers on them. These green ones are cobblestones. And basically, whatever number you start on, so let's say you were here, and you rolled a 9, because it has a 4 on it, you subtract that from the number. So instead of moving 9, you're only going to move 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The mountains work exactly the same way. You subtract them. But these are downhill, so these actually add to your score. So let's say somebody was here, and they rolled a 9. they would add 4 to it and actually move 13 up. So as you're going down, you go quicker, but as you're going up the mountain, you go slower. And that kind of shake things up a little bit as you're going. There are a few additional rules included, like if you want to do the photo finishes, if you want to do the cheating, you can fall off. There's ways you can do that, etc. But that's the basic rules and advanced rules for you to be able to play this game and get moving. The game is a teamwork with your 4 racers, but you're also going to be semi-cooperative. You're working with other people because you want to be able to stop behind them. If they get a really good roll, you want to be able to move with them. And that's going to be something unique to this racing game. And that's how you play the game.